We are the MARPs, the Monday Afternoon Recorder Players. I'm Doug Morton.
I'm Rebecca Thurman.
I'm Garth Riegel.
I'm Julie Close.
I'm Barbara Rice.
Eileen Moore.
Ann Mundall.
Stephen Greenwood.
Dennis West.
And I am Jean Allison Olson, and I'm the director. And we're going to begin our playing today with a play for dance called To Drive the Cold Winter Away. Our group plays a series of tunes from a publication, Playford's Dancing Master, and we're playing 4-part settings. The Dancing Master was a collection of dance tunes published 1651 and many more times until 1728. These were extremely popular. The dance masters all learned these tunes. People knew how to dance to them. And not only that, but some of them had alternative uses. To Drive the Cold Winter Away is a tune that we play. It has words, and the words are entitled, "A Pleasant Country New Ditty Merrily Showing How to Drive the Cold Winter Away." And it goes on for 11 verses, which we in Minnesota can hold this idea dearly. Music from that same collection is the Milkmaid's Bob, also Step Stately, and a very curious one called Stingo, or Oil of Barley. And that was originally a commercial ditty to sell alcohol. The MARP, or the Monday Afternoon Recorder Players, came out of a group called the Twin Cities Recorder Guild. Most of the players are in both groups. The Guild is a branch of the American Recorder Society, which is the whole Western Hemisphere, essentially. So if you're interested in playing recorders, through this organization, you can find groups of players all over North and South America, essentially. Both the recorder groups play old music and modern music and many different styles of music. If you especially love the older music, there's a group that publishes this magazine, which is Early Music America, which has all the instruments, so violins, viol da gamba, old winds like dulcians and shawms and sackbuts, and cornetti. This magazine has information and talks about concerts and groups all over the US. We also play some 5-part pieces by Gastoldi, who is an Italian, very, very popular composer. His pieces were written or published in 1591. They were so popular that they were reprinted throughout Europe, and some of them have even made it into the modern hymnal. Some of them you will recognize, perhaps the tunes. These also have text in the original Italian, and each one of them was meant to show a particular character in some of the little plays that they were doing in Italy at the time. We are doing L'Innamorato, or the Happy Life, which is wishing you a happy life, and everyone who loves has a happy life kind of thing. And that's the one that shows up in modern hymnals, and also showed up in England as Sing We Enchanted. Morley did a version of it. We follow that with La Bellezza, which is about a sweet, beautiful little berry or tree, and is just a really sweet little song. After that, there is Il Martelletto, which means the hammer, and that one has a really interesting text. So, a sweet song, we are playing a sweet song, you can think about, may he die who loves you, dark ungrateful beauty, born without faith, fa la 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 la. This is the reward which my loyalty receives, but at my woes you shall not laugh, fa la 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 la. One really wonders what they were thinking when he wrote that text. But these were representing different characters and different moods. So perhaps this is jealousy or irony, we don't know. Monday recorder players meet at the St. Paul Conservatory, where I also teach some recorder. But the Monday recorder group is a completely open group for interested recorder players to come and participate with us. We ask for a little bit of a contribution to help defray the rental costs for me, but otherwise it is open to anyone. And feel free, even if you can't help with a contribution, if you would like to meet other recorder players and play recorder music, please come or check with me, and we'd love to have you included in on this. The other thing that is helpful to realize about our group is that even making this recording, we tend to let people volunteer for different parts that they would like to play. So you will see that the players are switching instruments between pieces or choosing which instrument they'd like to play, so that most all of our players play more than one instrument, and most of us are used to switching around, so we become familiar with several of the lines of each one of these pieces, which makes it chaotic when you try to come and perform for somebody unless you plan ahead, but also really comforting in that if you can't come or if someone doesn't come for some reason, we can still cover all the parts comfortably. In the same vein as the Gastoldi, we are playing a few pieces by Mainario, who is another Italian composer from 1578. And we're playing a little dance called L'Arboscello di Furlano, and it's a little twig dance, and it's very sweet, kind of a slow dance from this time period, and something that we really enjoy playing. Not very difficult, but very satisfying. From a slightly later time period, the Baroque time period, about 1712 to perhaps 1721, Telemann wrote a little series of wedding dances, or divertissements, where he intended these little tunes to be danced to or played, but the originals had lyrics, and they were meant for a friend's wedding, And each little dance had lyrics that were probably making fun of one of the wedding party. We chose to play a bourrée and a passepide from that collection. The original was for just a solo instrument and harpsichord, but we were playing an arrangement that has 4 parts and has you can hear that the way the instruments, the melodies of the instruments are a little bit different than all the Italian and Renaissance dances. Anthony Holborn is another composer that is near and dear to early music players' hearts. He wrote collections of pieces for many different combinations of instruments. The piece that we're playing is from a large collection published 1599. It has some easier pieces and some really challenging, utterly challenging pieces in it for 5 players. And they were intended for recorder players or string players. You could use any combination of instruments that covered the range. We chose to play a couple of Almains, or one Almain out of this collection, which was a German dance and rather more stately, but not as stately as the Pavane, which was more of a music to enter or an entrance piece. So these little Almains, probably by the time he's publishing them, no regular people probably wouldn't have danced to them. They're a little bit too complex for that, but they still retain the major shape. And he was a lute player who went back and forth between between England and Germany. name is Jean Allison Olson, and I want to thank you for joining us at Mary's Eclectic Interests.